Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of you, no matter where you are. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the fact that this is an audio chat rather than a visual one. Woke up not too long ago, you guys, so it's just not the time for a visual chat at the moment. But hopefully we can enjoy this as an audio chat all the same. If there are any shows that you would like to talk about, certainly leave them in the comments below, and we will go through all of them one by one. First of all, I'd like to go, excuse me, I'd like to go a little bit back in time with you guys and talk about a show that I hadn't seen for a long time, but then started watching again, and it brought up a few issues for me that I would like to discuss with you guys. So we're going to start off talking about a show called The Secret Life of the American Teenager. Yes. Sorry about that. I did not think it was going to repeat on me. Well, as the theme song suggests, let's stop talking, let's get to it. That's right. I am rewatching Secret Life of the American Teenager at the moment, and if you'd like to keep up to date with me on Secret Life of the American Teenager, I'm always happy to talk about this. I am getting towards the end of the second season at the moment. It's a great show. Now, this show has ended. It's been off the air for a little while now, but it brings up a lot of good issues, and I just wanted to discuss a couple of them with you guys really quickly. This second season has dealt with quite a bit of heartache and mistakes that have come along owing to, I don't know, obviously if you have not seen this show, it is a show about teenagers who go to high school and all the drama that comes along with it. The protagonist, Amy Juergens, is the reason for the title of the show. It's called Secret Life of the American Teenager because when she went away to band camp, she actually got pregnant and ended up having a baby. So she's a teenage mother. And so the show sort of in many ways revolves around sex, or at least it has for the last couple of episodes, and what happens when people have sex and all of the drama that goes along with it. There's also been discussions on abstinence, if that's the right way to go, and also discussions about dealing with things yourself. This is certainly an open forum to discuss anything, but I just wanted to say that, you know, children are having sex younger and younger these days, and I just think as long as, you know, everyone comes with protection, I think that's the main thing at the end of the day. Just having protection and being safe is probably the best thing to do. If anyone has any opinions on the topic or the show in general, certainly let me know. It is a great show. It is written it is directed by the same person who directed the show Seventh Heaven, Brenda Hampton. She's pretty good at things she does. I mean, I have to say, Brenda Hampton is a great producer of shows until it gets to the finale. Her finales suck, they really do, but the series themselves are always really good until she gets to the finale. So yeah, if you have any comments on Secret Life of the American Teenager, certainly let me know. And at the same time, if there is a show that you would like to discuss, put it in the comments section below, and we will certainly get to that one as well. We have quite a few shows to discuss today. There are quite a few shows that we are covering and not covering on the channel, but that we are still able to talk about today. So if there are any that you would like to talk about, certainly feel free to let me know. But I did want to give a big shout out to Secret Life of the American Teenager because it is a really good show, and I definitely feel that people should watch it because it does bring up some really interesting social issues. And we don't really have any social issues shows happening at the moment now that The Fosters is over, so it is a great replacement there. If you have seen the show, let me know what you thought about it. Let's get to some of your comments quickly. Alias says, Hurricane Nate is coming right through us. Good thing it's only a Category 1. Oh, I'm glad it's only a Category 1, Alias. Stay safe. Chase is here. Chase says, hi. Hi, Chase. Sarah's here, and she says that she has seen the show. Chase says he watched all the seasons in 4 days. I'm not surprised, Chase, that you did. I mean, it's just such an addictive show. Prison A says, hi all, I've seen the show also. Yay! Sarah says, I think as long as kids use protection and keep safe, then they're going to do it whether they're told to or not. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly right. And I think that's why it's very important here in Australia and also around the world that they teach all types of sex education in high schools, including gay sex as well. Because, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to protect straight people, but when it comes to gay people, there needs to be more information about it. Sarah says, also with the show, I'm not sure if they're trying to encourage or discourage kids to have sex. All I know is they mention the word sex a lot. Yes, they do. And I think that's because, you know, stereotypically, that's all that teenagers have on their minds. Again, that's stereotypically. But, yeah, they have mentioned abstinence in episodes. One of the characters is, or shall I say at this stage, was part of a teen abstinence group. That same teenager is at the moment trying to encourage people to take care of things all by themselves by just saying me, which is quite interesting instead of using the M word. But yeah, there are other characters that are blatantly just wanting to have sex and not think about the consequences. And of course, yeah, other little things that happen along the way, but it's all very, very interesting, especially with this girl, the main character, who does have a child, and the consequences that have come along with that. Chase says, not all the time protection fails and sometimes the condoms break. Yeah, that's very true. Sometimes they do. But they are pretty good in most situations, so I definitely recommend that all men carry condoms, all boys as well. You know, maybe even girls and women also doing the same thing. But yeah, do what you can to protect yourself. Sarah says, Chase, that's true, but it's better than not using protection at all. I agree, and so does Chase. Chase says, you're right, but it's also better if kids under 18 don't have sex at all. Yeah, so, I mean, probably would be better if they didn't, but the fact of the matter is that they do, and the best that we can hope for is that they do protect themselves. That's right, Chase, it was Grace. You're absolutely right. Chase, Grace is who I'm talking about. Chase, you're absolutely right. She was part of the teen abstinence program, and now she's saying, just say me. Yeah, you have definitely seen it, Chase. President A says, I remember Grace. She's also in Cinderella's Story and Once Upon a Time, starring Lucy Hale. Oh, I did not know Lucy Hale was in Once Upon a Time, but there you go. Chase says, make sure you buy condoms that fit. Absolutely, yes. Very imperative to make sure that you do that. So yeah, if you guys would like for me to discuss Secret Life of the American Teenager, then certainly let me know in the comments below once the video does upload, because yeah, I'm certainly very happy to be discussing that one with you. Okay. Let's move on to the next show that we are going to discuss. That's right. Of course, I am referring to American Horror Story Cult. Now, this show, I had never seen American Horror Story before, but you guys got me onto American Horror Story, and in most ways, I'm so glad that you did. I'm enjoying this season so far, I must say. And last week's episode, so not the latest episode that we had, but the one before, was huge, getting to learn all the backstories about how all these members joined the cult. And then this week's episode, learning of someone else that joined the cult that we weren't so much aware of, and a huge reveal when it came to the therapist. Very, very big reveal. If you guys have anything you would like to discuss about American Horror Story episodes, certainly let me know. Now, American Horror Story has been filled with a little bit of controversy in the past 48 hours. For those of you who are not up to speed, basically in the next episode, there was going to be a shooting scene where someone opened fire on a crowd of unsuspecting people, and of course this is quite close to what was happening in Las Vegas. So there was a lot of discussion about what they were going to do with it, including potentially cutting the episode altogether. So basically, in the end, what they ended up doing was they've decided, or Ryan Murphy, I should say, has decided to just cut that particular scene, but the episode will still air. So if you would like to discuss any of the episodes of American Horror Story Season 7 Cult, certainly do so by leaving comments in the comment section below. We'll probably discuss Cult for about 5 or so minutes before moving on to the next show. So now is the time to get out anything that you would like to discuss about American Horror Story. Please do not provide any spoilers. Obviously, the reason that I brought up this was because of the controversy that's going on, and it's not even going to be in the next episode, so it's not exactly a spoiler. But American Horror Story Season 7 is what we are discussing right now. If you have not seen American Horror Story Season 7 or aren't interested in that, we are going to be moving on to other shows in just a moment, so stick around with us, or maybe even grab a coffee and prepare to settle in, because we have a lot of shows to discuss today, you guys, and I am certainly intending on getting to each and every one of them. That is for sure. So I am finding this season, Season 7, to be very gory, like ridiculously gory. I don't think they need to go that far. But then again, I'm just not a horror fan. So maybe horror fans will think it's either not gory enough or it's just fine. And that's totally cool for them. But aside from all the gore that I definitely feel we don't need, I think we are getting a fantastic season. Now, I can't compare it to others because I have not seen them. And Chase is telling me to watch Season 6. He thinks I will like it. I'll certainly have to have a look. And I heard that there's also a witchy season. I think it's called Coven or something. So definitely have to check that one out as well. But from what I'm seeing so far, I am finding it very intriguing. From dealing with coulrophobia to fear of a cluster of holes, which I never even knew that was a fear, a cluster of holes. Who knew? To all the other things involved as well. The mystery side of it certainly is what intrigues me the most. And we had a massive, massive, massive reveal involving Ivy this week, which really shocked me that she's part of the cult. I did not expect this to be the case. But there we go. We have confirmation of that one. Chase is saying to Sarah to watch it. President A says grabbed honeycomb Maltesers. Isn't that hilarious, considering, you know, honeycomb is a cluster of holes? I love honeycomb Maltesers. You guys know that I advertise coffee and vanilla Coke like they're going out of fashion. Seriously, my next visual chat, I'm going to have honeycomb Maltesers. That's going to be the next thing I'm advertising, because it is my favorite treat at the moment. Chase is saying that Sarah will like it. Sarah's saying she's seen Coven. So there you go. Chase says you don't have to see all the past seasons to get into one, and Season 3 is Coven. Yeah, so I definitely think that is very true, Chase. You guys were telling me that I didn't have to watch past seasons, and that was my biggest concern, was that I would not know what was, you know, going on as far as not having seen all the other seasons, but you don't have to. They're all completely separate seasons. So I've been totally fine with just watching Season 7 on its own. And I say, you know, there is gore, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely think that, you know, if you like mysteries, that you should watch this show for sure. President A says, I've tried to watch it, but it wasn't for me. Yeah, and that's totally fair enough. When I first started watching American Horror Story Season 7 Cult, I was very confused by it. I kept thinking, what the heck is the bloody point? I was going quite crazy and out of my mind. If you saw my earlier reviews, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But I've come to appreciate it as time has gone on. Chase says, if they do have Murder House crossover, then watch Seasons 1 and 3 before it starts. Yeah, so certainly if there is a crossover, then I will definitely do that for the sake of understanding what is going on. But at the moment, it is certainly not necessary to do that. And so, yeah, therefore it's pretty okay at this stage. But yeah, so definitely thinking that American Horror Story is going to have an interesting end to the season. I don't know when the season does end, but certainly looking forward to seeing what does happen there. We'll certainly have to have a look into that for sure. Okay, so time to move on to the next thing that we are going to discuss. Let's see. Yes, that's right. The next show that I'm going to discuss with you guys is How to Get Away with Murder. Now, this show has become a little bit controversial on comment below and let me know. And the reason for that is because it did not survive the review process. And for that, I'm sorry. That's just the way that it went. But I am going to be talking about it when it comes to live chats. Now, we've had a very interesting time with season 4 so far with How to Get Away with Murder. Episode 1 honestly was very blah, 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 blah. Like really, it was on one topic and one topic alone, and it was boring me like there was no tomorrow. And then literally in the last 60 seconds, we got the big, massive reveal that was happening on How to Get Away with Murder. And I was really appreciating that. So if you have any thoughts on How to Get Away with Murder, episode 1 or episode 2 of season 4, leave them in the comment section below. I'm going to just need one moment. I'll be right back with you guys, but leave your comments and I'll be right there. Okay, sorry about that quick break there. Let's have a look at some of the comments that you guys have left. Very quickly, let's wrap up what everyone's saying about Horror Story. Sarah says, I can't get into horror. It gives me anxiety, so that's why I haven't watched much of AHS. And that's totally understandable, and it possibly would have been even worse this season. And Chase says, November 14, 2017 is when the last episode of Cold airs, so not too far away. There we go. All right, so, excuse me, guys. So we are going to be discussing How to Get Away with Murder. And we are very lucky and blessed to be joined by one of my special guests who is also a fan of How to Get Away with Murder. If you have not seen How to Get Away with Murder, I'm sure we will both recommend it. But here to talk a little bit about it with me is Angels. Angels, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Oh my gosh, like it's actually one of the shows that I'm loving recently. So, yeah, I love the whole kind of dark aspect of it, and they're all mental at this point. And you're absolutely right, though. I'm not a big fan of, without giving spoilers, Connor's new look. I'm not really a fan.
Yeah.
You know, but I think he's still gorgeous, but you know, he could look better.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Now, just letting all of you know, if I understand that people don't want to discuss certain spoilers, but here's the way that I see it, and here's how we're going to do it. A comment below and let me know. If if an episode has aired, and I have reviewed it, or would have in this case for How to Get Away with Murder, then it's not a spoiler. So we are going to be discussing episode 1 and episode 2 in this chat. If you have not seen that, then go and make yourself a coffee. We'll probably discuss this for about 5-10 minutes and then move on to the next show. But we are going to be discussing both episodes 1 and 2. Angels, to get back to what you were saying a moment ago, yeah, so Connor, that was the very first thing that I noticed, is he has given himself a buzz haircut.
I know.
That.
Yeah, I'm not really on board with it either. Like, I don't understand, because he had these gorgeous kind of luscious locks. He had like a bit of a Vinny kind of do, and I was just like, I know I always bang on about not being onto pretty boys, but come on, he was a pretty boy. I mean, he's still a pretty boy.
Yeah.
But, you know, we all loved his luscious locks. What the hell? And also, why was there no lead up to it? Why was he not just like, okay, I'm just going to, do you know, even if they put it in like a thing where he was like in the barbers on a phone call or something, I just feel like suddenly being faced with this random buzz cut kind of person with no facial hair, I was just like, okay, this is kind of weird. Yeah. Aside from that storyline.
Yeah, so let's start talking about the storyline. Yeah. Let's start off talking about episode 1, since we have not really gone into too much detail about this yet here in a live chat. Okay, so I have to say, you guys, I don't know if you've seen the thumbnail for my review, but I am like joking and like laughing about the fact that it was literally Annalisa's mum is sick, Annalisa's mum is sick, Annalisa's mum is sick, and oh my gosh, is Annalisa's mum sick? I mean, literally for the first 35 minutes, all we had was Annalisa's mum and nothing else. And that really got to me. Well, except for the letters. We'll get to that in a moment. But what was your thought on the fact that this storyline of her mum just kept going?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I was actually pretty disappointed in it. But in true style of How to Get Away with Murder, it was still done well. Like, I still enjoyed watching the entire episode. I didn't feel let down. But weirdly, I mean, and I probably should have been more switched on to this kind of thing. I was just like, oh, you know, fine. It's like, it's delving into the fact, it's trying to humanize her basically.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick up on what you did, and I think you were much smarter in picking up and thinking, hold on, are we focusing a lot more on the mum because it might be that they're going to use it and that it's going to be a reason for either something to happen, you know, or maybe it's like going to be something later on. And I think that's probably true because, like you said, what was it, 35 out of 45 minutes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so whilst I'm well up for people being humanized, and obviously everyone is human, I thought personally it was a bit much. You're absolutely right. But I do believe it's not the kind of show that gives us red herrings like Melissa Hastings, for example. And anyone, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe you're absolutely right, and it might be something significant.
Yes, I do. For those of you who don't know, I do sort of have a theory that it may come up a little later on down the track, something to do with her mum. Maybe it has something to do with the mystery. Time will certainly tell. So the next big thing that happened in episode 1 was that all of the members of Annalise's group, her core group, were actually let go. They were given letters of recommendation and they were let go. And it leaves us all to wonder why this is happening. What were your thoughts surrounding that issue?
Okay, so I felt like the reason why she was doing that is because she was doing the AA cleanliness steps thing. So it's basically get rid of people that you think are toxic to you and who you also feel you might be toxic for. And it goes to the stages of alcoholism, drug addiction, that kind of thing. So I felt like that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to start anew, get rid of all that kind of thing, but also not try and influence them anymore, not try and toxify them anymore with her own weaknesses, who she's, you know, which she's very aware of. And I think the reason why it was so pivotal when she handed Bonnie the letter was that the reason why she saved it for last is because she knew that she has screwed Bonnie up the worst. You know, like Bonnie and Frank are probably the worst. So I think it's like I said, it's her AA thing, her therapist. So, but she's always going to fall back. I mean, it's Annalise, for God's sake, and she's probably still got another like 3 seasons, yeah, at least. So, but yeah, that basically is just her trying to start afresh. Will it happen? In my view, no.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. But it did lead into episode 2, particularly with Bonnie. She has now joined the what do you call them? District.
She's one of the ADAs, so she's one of the assistant district attorneys, right?
Attorneys, yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So part of I guess you would say the start of the second episode sees Bonnie walk into the courtroom when Annalise is trying a case. We'll get into all that in just a moment. But Annalise obviously thinks that Bonnie is coming there to talk to her when in fact she's not. She's there to try one of her own cases. So what do we think about this whole thing of Bonnie joining the ADA? Certainly very intriguing. Comment below and let me know.
So I find that actually, like, personally, I'll just chat whilst the other guys are like chatting if they want to.
Yeah.
I find the fact that she's actually doing something for once of her own accord brilliant. The one thing about Bonnie that I really hated is that she was always really like, ooh, Annalise, ooh, like really dependent on someone who obviously is so damaged. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have your demons, right? Like, it's not a bad thing to actually be damaged, but I felt like she is far too dependent on Annalise, and she just needs to get like herself a life, really, or some kind of life, even if it's just a couple of mates and to go and see some films or to whatever, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I felt like it would actually do Bonnie good. Frank can't ever live down his shame of having killed Annalise's son, so I think he will genuinely always be there to protect Annalise, like, forever.
Yeah.
So I think whether or not Annalise wants it, he would always be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that stuff will kind of come back, and I think that Bonnie will. I feel like this is going to be more of like Bonnie's time.
Yeah.
I think that whilst doing this job, we might actually see a lot more into her, and maybe she won't end up being so pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Good theory.
Yeah.
And let's quickly discuss the main storyline of this week's episode of How to Get Away with Murder. So Annalise has gone into therapy, and she was discussing this case that she was working on, her first case since she's been reinstated and allowed to try again. And first of all, I want to say that I appreciate seeing this case. I love that How to Get Away with Murder is a mystery show, don't get me wrong, but I also love the legal side of it as well.
Me too.
Like that. Yeah, excellent. So I did like that we got to experience that. You know, almost shed a tear in Annalise's closing for that case.
Oh, not almost. I was bawling when she also when her defendant was basically saying, look, this is what happened at age 13 and blah blah blah, and then they break you and then this and then that. I was like in tears then, but then when she started going, but then that's Viola Davis all over for you. You want a good actress to make you cry, she's it. I mean, she's the bomb when it comes to that kind of thing. She never puts a foot wrong.
Yeah.
So
true.
Yeah, she's.
So that was really well done, and obviously we find out about this as she's sort of reliving it, telling it to her therapist. This is very interesting, though. The therapist was taking a phone call prior to Annalise coming in. Now, I have a feeling that this will relate to something, though what I honestly don't know. I'm still trying to work it out. Any ideas?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you know when the therapist took a call outside when Laurel was in the hospital and Frank went in? Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That goes back to when she goes, I started talking loads and I trusted him and all this. Then he became my husband, meaning he does my bidding. And I saw the way they looked at each other, and I'm just wondering whether she's set the whole thing up.
Oh.
And he's doing, yeah. See, I think she's forever going to be a manipulative bitch, like in this entire show. I think she probably will be. I think at heart, she's not totally blackened, but I think that it's like the way she's sort of lived and the way that she does stuff.
Yeah.
So she does have a code of what's right and wrong, but it's not necessarily mainstream.
Yeah. Interesting.
I reckon I definitely think that she's the person that her therapist is calling afterwards going, she's awake. What? Yeah.
Well, there we go. And of course, finally, the students, the kids were trying, whatever you call them, they're not kids, the students were trying to get into businesses and stuff like that. Interesting that, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the girl's name. Laurel, I think it is, got into at least legal aid, but didn't show up. Found that all very interesting, but I think that has a lot to do with everything she's going through. She's definitely trying to focus on what's happening. But speaking of which, we had a massive reveal at the end to do with Laurel. She reveals to, oh gosh, is her name Michaela? I'm so terrible.
Michaela, yeah, Michaela.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, she reveals.
You always get her name wrong.
I always do, and it's because I'm watching so many shows right now that it's like, oh my gosh, what's his name? Yeah, she reveals to Michaela that her dad was responsible for the death, and that she wants her to help her with all that. So, I mean, do we have this as confirmation now?
Well, we know that her dad had Wes killed.
Yeah.
But what we don't know is whether her dad knows anything about the pregnancy and that kind of thing. So because she told her dad that actually she'd had like a termination.
Yeah.
But what we now do know is that she was in hospital, obviously without a baby, and she was going, where's my baby? So obviously she's lost it somehow. We don't know how. I think she probably suspects it might be to do with her dad, but Frank was the first person there. So I think that's a hint of what might be to come. I personally think they're really hot together. They were like the hottest couple ever. So I want a lot more of they call it floral. Did you know that? It sounds a bit like floral, which I think is quite cute. So I'm like, oh, floral, all right. I can run with floral. But yeah, so she was obviously, you know, he was like the first person there for her and that kind of thing. But like you said, it was then the therapist afterwards. But I think he was on the phone to Annalise. So yes, I just think everyone in that show is super screwed up, and I'm not really sure that we can make deductions. So
no, well, absolutely stay tuned. I'm not covering it for reviews, but I am certainly going to be discussing How to Get Away with Murder in my chats, and if we come up with theories, I might do some theory videos on it. Now, Angels, we're going to keep talking about some other shows, some of which you may or may not have seen, but I definitely would love it if you could stick around. I don't know how long you can be here for, but if you can, because we are going to be talking about, without mentioning the name yet, a show that is coming back this week. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about, so hopefully you can stick around for that.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I don't even want to say it because I'll get too excited.
All right. Well, we will get back to that in just a moment. All right. So now we're going to talk about the next show. Now, I don't know if Angels has actually seen this show or not, but either way, we're going to continue with what we've been doing today, which is playing the theme song, and then see if you guys can guess it. And I don't know if I have a theme song for this show, but I will try and see if this is one. No, I don't think it is. Oh, sorry guys, just a moment. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Can you all still hear me?
Yeah, we can still.
One. I'm glad that you can still hear me. Sorry about this. I don't know quite what's going on there. All right. Well, we're going to have to leave that one go for the intro for that one go for the moment. But the next show that we are going to talk about is another mystery show that is coming to a conclusion for season 1 next week. The show I'm talking about is Mr. Mercedes. Now, have you seen this one, Angels?
I haven't, but loads of people have actually told me that I should. So yeah, I will let you speak about it for a couple of minutes. I'm just actually going to go and grab a drink, and then I'll be right back, and we can talk about it. Yeah.
Excellent. No problems at all. All right, guys. Yep. So we're getting a lot of comments coming in. Some people know exactly what we're going to talk about with Angels a little later, which is good. But aside from that, Chase is saying, yes, Mr. Mercedes, I called it. You absolutely did, Chase. Anything you want to discuss about Mr. Mercedes, let me know. You guys have been totally amazing when it comes to the reviews of Mr. Mercedes. I must say, like, seriously, this show, as far as reviews were concerned, was not at all meant to survive. And then, like, literally in the final hour, it did. Now, next week is the final episode, which means that you would expect quite a lot happened in the previous episode, and it did. Boy, did a lot happen in the last episode, including the detective finally finding out who Mr. Mercedes is, getting into his house, of course, the fire that happened, and we're still trying to work out who the person was that was on the bed. Was it Brady, or was it someone else? Some people are theorizing that it was Brady's boss. Time will certainly tell. But if you have any thoughts on Mr. Mercedes at all, anything you would like to discuss, certainly let me know, because I'd be very intrigued to see what people have to say about it. Also, I want to say that I was very pleased with Lou this week. She certainly stood up for Brady, so well done to her. Look, Mr. Mercedes is definitely one of those shows that most people aren't watching, but they probably should. It's very underrated as far as advertising is concerned, and it's being covered on a channel that I've never even heard of before, to be completely honest. So I'm going to tell you what channel it is being shown on in the States in case you want to watch it. But I also believe it's available on Netflix, so you can track it down there. But Mr. Mercedes is actually being shown on what is called the Audience Network. Now, as I say, I've never heard of this one before, and I've heard of quite a few channels in the US, but never heard of the Audience Network. If you have the Audience Network, oh, so apparently it's on Dish Network, Chase is saying. So there you go. So it's on Netflix if you guys want to check it out. What sets Mr. Mercedes apart from any other mystery show is that by the end of the first episode, we actually know who the killer is, and we're actually able to therefore see what's happening with the killer at the same time as seeing what's happening with the detective. So imagine, if you will, having the final season of Pretty Little Liars. We know who A is in episode 1 of the final season, and therefore knowing A, we're able to watch what A is doing and see A's face at the same time, rather than just getting mysterious clips, not knowing who they are for like 20 seconds at the end of an episode. So that's what you get in Mr. Mercedes, and it has made things rather interesting. And certainly, you know, it delves deep into the mind of a crazed psychopath. Brady has had quite a tough life. So it's not surprising that he's sort of turned into the psychopath that he has, but it is very, very intriguing. So I recommend that you give this show a go. Chase is telling me it's on Dish Network. So yeah, I don't quite know what Dish Network is. However, what I am being told is that it is airing on, I think it's called Audience Network or something like that. It's a AT&T channel or something. It's all very interesting. As I say, I know a lot of American channels, and I did not know this one. So if it is like cable or something and you have to obviously, you know, pay for it, then I understand that a lot of people haven't seen it, but it is on Netflix if you have it. So certainly feel free to check that out there. Well, we've got a couple more people in the room. If you are here, say hi, and I will definitely give you a shout out. We are going through all the shows that I have covered on my channel, so certainly stick around. If you have not seen this one, you may see the next one that's coming up, so certainly stick around for that. I don't know if Angels is still with me or if she's off still getting a drink, but Angels, are you still there? Nope, she's still off getting her drink, but that's fine. She hasn't seen Mr. Mercedes. So yeah, but if you guys want to talk about Mr. Mercedes, I'm more than happy to. I'm even more than happy to have a chat on Mr. Mercedes a little later on this week, prior to the airing of the finale, or even just after the finale, because as I say, the finale episode is coming up this week. So a lot to look forward to there. All right, it is time to move on to the next show that I'm going to discuss with you guys. And here's a clue about this show to see if you
I am back, by the way.
Hello, Angels. Good to have you back. Here is a clue to see if you know what it is before I play the new intro for you guys. Okay, so this show, for its first episode of the season, review-wise on comment below and let me know, received the most views that any video has had on comment below and let me know in 3 months. I was absolutely amazed. You guys are just totally awesome. The fact that you all seem to get into it. And I was very excited about it. So let's play the theme song and see if you can guess what it is. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps double playing these things. I certainly don't intend that. That's a big blooper that we'll have to edit out. Not really. I wonder if anyone has been able to guess what that theme song belongs to. If you have, then it'll be interesting to see. Angels is still with us. I don't know if she watches this show or not, but Angels.
Will and Grace, yeah, I do.
Well done.
Oh no, actually Chase wins it because he actually got it before me. So
well done, Chase. So Angels, have you seen any of the new season of Will and Grace?
Sadly, I really wanted to, and it was like on my to-do list, but I genuinely didn't really get a chance. You know what I'm like. I'm just either online till 5 in the morning and then sort of having to actually be responsible, or pretend to be responsible for a few hours. So
That is
unfortunately, I haven't been able to yet. Plus, I'm gaming on Duel Links the whole time. So yeah.
of course. Is there anything you want to say about Will and Grace in general before I plow into the 2 episodes?
I really want to get back into it because I used to love it when it was on previously. Like it pretty much summed up my relationship with one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I loved like the stuff that they went through together and that kind of thing. I thought it was very true to form.
Yeah.
So I think that it's like a mix of, okay, it's comedy, but it's also very clever and it's very real.
Yes.
So yeah, but anyway, carry on.
All right.
And I
Well,
will shut up.
okay. We'll come back to you momentarily, Angels. Good to have you here with us. All right. So yes, Will and Grace, everyone, 10 years later, has come back. Season 9, episode 1, and this week, season 9, episode 2. And I kid you not when I say that Will and Grace season 9 episode 1's review on my channel has received more than any reviews that I've had for the past 3 months, and that includes some of our Pretty Little Liars chats. So that is saying quite a bit. You guys are absolutely amazing. You're obviously loving this show, which is really, really awesome. Well, let's talk about very quickly about the first episode back. The very President A guessed it as well. Will and Grace, yay! If you have anything to say about Will and Grace, leave me a comment in the comment section as we delve into this. First episode back, and in the first 5 minutes, Karen decides, well, not Karen, but the writers decide to have Karen dreaming, and so what we saw in the last season that would not make sense to carry over with on season 9 all became part of Karen's dream. Now, normally I would not be up for that. As we know with Pretty Little Liars and that stupid dream where the ridiculous monster hand came out of the wall, I'm not for that. But when it comes to a comedy, a sitcom like Will and Grace, I'm totally fine to do that if it means we can sort of continue on as though no time has really passed in Will and Grace. So I was happy that they did that. There was a lot of controversy surrounding the first episode. This is because they were discussing some things to do with politics, and a lot of shows are discussing things to do with politics, and it's getting very old and very boring. But in saying that, Will and Grace didn't go too deep into politics. Grace through Karen, because Karen, of course, knows Donald Trump's wife, Melania. Good old Melania, indeed. And she has a job to decorate the office, the Oval Office, and Will wants to go and meet someone at the White House who's, I think, a senator or something like that. All in all, I found it a pretty decent episode. There were a lot of great laughs, and I really appreciated it. And the episode ends with Grace leaving a red cap on the president's chair that reads, and I kid you not, "Make America Gay Again." So I did like that. I thought that was a nice touch. But it was just great to have Will and Grace back.
I am well up for that, by the way, especially considering Trump's recent moves. So yes, I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Sorry if I'm giving away too much here, Angels, considering you haven't seen it.
Oh, I'm all for spoilers, but I mean, well, especially in that kind of thing, because I just think it's so important to, and I think the reason why a lot of shows like that have become political is because they kind of need to. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to regress. You know what I mean?
I agree. I just think the issue is that there are so many shows that are dealing with political stuff, and bring it that it can just get a little tedious after a while.
Not just a little, a lot. I agree, but you know.
Exactly right. But I'm now going to talk about episode 2, and I'm so happy to, because it had nothing to do with politics at all, and I'm so happy. Maybe subliminally it had to do with politics, but certainly not to the forefront. It didn't. Grace has installed this automated spa/shower in Karen's bathroom, and the pair end up getting locked inside there, and Karen cannot for the life of her remember how to unlock it. She's trying to think about it, and eventually she comes up with the recollection that the word was the safe word she uses when she has sex with Stan, but she can't remember for the life of her what it is. Now remember that it is that the password is the word she uses as the safe word when she has sex with Stan. We'll come back to that. Meanwhile, Will is dating this young guy, really young guy, and I like what they did with this. It was great to see Will with a younger guy. I don't think I've seen Will with anyone that young before, but differences start cropping about really quickly. The first obvious one is that he doesn't like Madonna, which is probably as big as some people might say, not me, but others might say, if you don't like, for example, Taylor Swift, for example. So obviously Will was quite offended that the guy didn't like Madonna, but it went deeper than that. This guy did not have any trouble coming out. As a matter of fact, both of his parents gave him 2 separate coming out parties. His life as a gay man has been really easy, and he has no appreciation for what people have done in the past for gay rights. Will goes on a bit of a tirade about what has happened and the big movements that have been made and how far we actually have come, and that people need to appreciate this. Now, some people will probably look at that as political, and maybe it is in a way, but for me, I liked seeing this comparative being played out because it is very true. The younger generation don't necessarily understand the struggles that the older generation went through, and I think Angels might have something she wants to say.
I didn't want to cut you off, but it's the exact same thing, right? When I see people younger than me, because obviously I've been like campaign for gay rights since I was in my 20s, right? So but also when it comes to equal rights as a more general thing, I've campaigned for it too. And but then I have to say I found it fairly easy too. But then do we have our sort of forebears to kind of thank for it? Because basically it gets easier, I'd say, with every single generation, and to the point where when I was at college, I didn't give a shit like who somebody chose to love. You know what I mean? It was never a thing for me. It was honestly was never a thing. So like I don't understand how it kind of would be for the generations below me, and obviously I'm mid-30s now, so I think that they probably played it out well if they've got like a really young guy who's probably what, like 20,
something like that.
Yeah, and so of course he wouldn't think it's like anything, because that's normal. But then even my parents, I remember once saying to my parents when I was like 20, no, maybe even less, oh, you know, how would you react if I was gay? And my mum was like, well, you know, you just be gay. Like, I don't understand what you're kind of asking. And I was like, well, you know, would you have an issue with it? And she's like, no. Like, why would I, kind of thing? Like, you're our daughter. If you want to love someone, you love someone. And that is, by the way, from my Catholic mother. So actually, it's, yeah, I actually think that it's sort of now drilled into people that it's just normal to love whoever you love. So I quite like the fact that they obviously put it into you know, on screen. But I also like the fact that they're playing it off against someone who's obviously older than us, because Will now has to be what, 50,
something like that, I would say. Yeah.
At least, right? So that means that of course he would have had a much harder time. So he probably can't get his head around the fact that now it's all fine, doesn't matter, because he's like, what the fuck, it was so difficult for me, basically. So I quite like the whole conflict thing.
Exactly. I completely agree. And I mean, see, there's 2 ways to go about this. I think that especially when it comes to millennials, I do like their I don't care attitude, in the way that provided you're not doing something that affects them, they're all for anyone doing what they want to do.
Yeah, they're very pro equal marriage. They're very pro equal rights, all that kind of thing.
Exactly right. And I think that is something that is that has been brought to the forefront in media, television, all that sort of thing. We've certainly discussed it a lot. Comment below and let me know. But one thing that has not been brought to the forefront, at least from what I've seen, is their lack of appreciation for where the world is today and how it got there. So I'm glad that they actually did that, because it does, you know, I haven't had this discussion with anyone myself, but I think I would certainly be a lot like Will if I did, and sort of say, listen, you know, have some appreciation for, you know, the fact that you are enjoying your life, and it's much easier for you now than it was, say, for me when I was younger, because of our generation and generations that have come beforehand. But of course, in true Will and Grace style, despite the fact that Will goes on a bit of a tirade and that is a serious moment, the episode is filled with a lot of laughs, as you would expect no less from Will and Grace. Speaking of laughs, let's get back to Karen and Grace, who are trapped in this sauna/shower, and the shower is on. I forgot to say this. By the time we come back to them, the shower is 3/4 full, and they're basically trying to float to the top to breathe. There's no way to get out, and Grace is, sorry, not Grace, Karen is still trying to remember what the safe word is. The pair end up having a discussion about a raise. Karen's domestics want to get a raise, and in the end she says, okay, which it was hard to believe. But then Karen wants a raise from Grace. Eventually, Grace decides she's going to give Karen a raise, and that she appreciates her. And sorry guys, just give me one moment, I'll be right with you.
All right, I will take over for a little bit in the meantime. I'm gonna look at Will and Grace as like much more of a generic kind of thing, because I haven't seen it yet, but I have watched the old Will and Grace, which I loved. I just find that the fact that they bring all the issues to the forefront and then make it comedy as well as literal stuff really, really clever. I feel like it's the type of program that you can pick up and put down quite easily too, which I really like, because not a lot of shows really have that. No, that's fine. No, I was just sort of generically chatting about Will and Grace. I was just saying about how Will and Grace, as a general rule, does tend to have that generic pick up and put down quality.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Yep. Which I think is actually lacking, because often in a lot of shows you literally have to follow it episode by episode or you're lost, whereas it has that light-hearted edge, so you can, you know. Anyway, get back to chatting about it. I just wanted to entertain the audience.
No problems at all. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, no, sorry guys. Just keep getting some calls over here. I do apologize, but let's quickly wrap this up. So they're talking in this filling shower that won't stop, and it looks like they're going to die unless the water stops. And Grace tells Karen, yep, I appreciate you, and I will give you a raise. And Karen says to her, you know, look, I mean, I am honestly touched that you're doing this, because I love working at Grace Adler Designs. The next thing you know, the shower stops. Grace looks at Karen and says, do you mean to tell me that your safe sex word in bed with Stan is Grace Adler? And Karen says, yes, in a very sheepy way. So there we go. That's something we didn't know. Maybe a bit of TMI there, but it was quite funny the way that it was done. And that's basically the end of the episode. And it's so great to have Will and Grace back. The first episode, I was jumping up and down because I was just so happy that it was back. But I must say, now that 2 episodes have gone by, it just feels like we're back to normal. Like, I don't know, back in the 90s or whenever Will and Grace was about. And yeah, I'm so used to it again. So yay, high praise to Will and Grace. And Angels, I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Did you ever think you would find out that Karen's safe sex word is Grace Adler?
I didn't, but however, I love it. I have to say, because it kind of takes me back to like it's much like you said. I think Will and Grace is just such a pleasure to watch, regardless when you watch. Like I said, you can put it down years ago, you can pick it up and you can still love it. It's like one of those old school. It's a bit like one of those comfortable hoodies, you know. It's
Yeah.
such a pleasure to actually put on. And I find Will and Grace like one of them. It's a little bit like Friends. You can pick it up and put it down. It's brilliant, but it also does have a bit of a moral leaning, and you know, it does represent stuff. So yes, I think it's an absolute hit, and I'm definitely going to be catching up with it soon. I haven't, like I said, I haven't had the chance to yet, but I definitely will be. So.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so President A says that he is currently watching old episodes while I'm reviewing the new ones. Currently home for the holiday, season 2. Oh, that's awesome. Like, yeah, Will and Grace is just such a great show. It's really easy to go back and rewatch all episodes of Will and Grace.
Exactly, yeah.
And I do like that despite the fact there might be something minor that continues, for the majority of the time, Will and Grace is a show that you can sort of just jump onto any episode and watch it randomly. They're not so far connected. I mean, yeah, maybe, but you know what I mean? Like, you can sort of just jump back into history and go, okay, I'm just going to watch season 3, episode 5 today, and that's totally fine, and you can do that. Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. All right. Let's jump on to the next one. We've got 2 more to go, and then we're going to discuss the show that's coming back. So we're all very excited about that. But let's...
Oh, my God, I'm going to go nuts.
Awesome. So stick around, everyone, because we're definitely going to be talking about that very soon. But the next show we're going to discuss, here is the clue. This is a show that I reviewed for the first time this week. It's a show that I'm trying to get out there and get everyone to watch. There are 2 shows that I'm doing with that. One's a mystery, one's a comedy. This is the comedy that I'm referring to. And here is the intro for this one. So a very short intro, in case you hadn't gathered. We are talking about a show called The Good Place. Now, this show is funny. It's a comedy show, but it's not a sitcom. And to give you an idea of what you will enter into when you start watching The Good Place, we start off the pilot episode with the protagonist having died. And she winds up in what is called the good place. So call that heaven, Summerland, whatever you want to call it. She's wound up in the good place. But as we get to know her, we get to realize, as does she, that she shouldn't necessarily be in the good place because she wasn't a good person on Earth. There are many twists and turns that happen along the way. But what really makes this show work, despite the fact that we are watching a really interesting sort of afterlife comedy, which is something I've not seen before, so I like that they've gone in this direction, is the humor that comes out of the 4 main characters. Now, there is everyone in The Good Place hears everyone with the same accent. Regardless of what accent they have. So everyone sort of speaks with an American accent to the protagonist because she's American herself. But there is one character, one of the main characters, who speaks with an English accent. She's rather posh.
Oh, right, mate. Great.
Sorry? No, actually Queen's English.
Oh, terribly. Like, hello, darling.
Yes, her name is Tahani. Now, Tahani, it was apparently some sort of very distant, minute relative of Diana. Very, very, very distant. And so she feels a little bit entitled. Her time on Earth was spent raising a lot of money for charities. However, she did that so that she could get the fame of doing it. So she's very, she comes across as very nice, but she's very fake as well at the same time. And I will never forget this scene where she comes over to see the main character and she goes, what's the main character's name? I forget. But anyway, she's like, oh, I just wanted to give you this lovely plant and say welcome because, you know, we're all new here. So here's a plant for you. Anyway, so the main character ushers her out of the house because she doesn't want anything to do with her. She doesn't like her. And she goes, oh, Tahani, I'm Really, Tahani? Oh, look at me. I brought you over a nice little plant, but even though we all arrived in the neighborhood at the same time, here's some dirt that I put in a bowl because I'm amazing. And yeah, it's really, really funny. There's a lot more that goes on in the show. And we come to find out something quite massive at the end of season 1. But I'm going to let you guys go ahead and watch that and tell me what you think. Hopefully the reviews on The Good Place will survive. It is just a really fun, funny show to watch. So if you have seen it, let me know. If you haven't, that's totally fine. Go out and give it a go and let me know what you think. And if you are living in the States, The Good Place is on, well, it's on NBC. So same as Will and Grace. So there we go. Now I'm guessing, Angels, that you probably have not seen this show before.
Well, no, but it sounds hilarious. And also, there was a touch of Mrs. Bouquet in your voice when you said that. So I was like, yeah, I've got to watch it. That's just brilliant.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you're totally...
I just saw that Alias is in the room, who I haven't seen him for a while. So hi, Alias.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, hello, Alias. Oh, yes, hello, Alias. There we go. Sorry, just a bit of a delay on my end. And President A is asking who stars in The Good Place. That is a very good question. One of the main character, whose name is Eleanor, now that I think about it, is actually Kristen Bell.
Oh, right. I think I know that actress.
Yeah, I know. She sounds very familiar, right?
Yeah, she's definitely been in other stuff. Kristen Bell, right?
Yes, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I do know her.
Yeah, I don't remember what else she's been in, but yeah. So I'll just quickly go through who else is in there. The person.
Wow.
The person who runs The Good Place, his name is Michael. He's actually played by Ted Danson. So that's pretty cool.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've seen him. Tahani, my favorite, is played by someone called Jamila Jamil. She is an English woman, and she was hosting some show in England. I don't know what it was called, but she was hosting something. She came over to the States thinking she would become someone who would work in news. And she went along for the audition just for fun and got the role. This is her very first acting gig, which is surprising because when you watch her, you can't tell. She's brilliant at what she does. Chidi is played by William Jackson Harper. Jason is played by Manny Jacinto. And Janet, now Janet is an automatic robot that you can call upon that will give you whatever you need while you're in The Good Place, which is pretty cool. So you just call her name, she appears by your side, and you say, I'd like a cocoa, and she goes, right, and gives you a cocoa, basically. She is played by Darcy Carden, who really looks familiar. I'm still trying to remember how I know Darcy Carden. But yeah, she's definitely looks very familiar to me for some reason. I can't honestly remember why, but there we go. All right, so yeah, check that out because it's a great show, and I'm sure that you will all love it. President A says, that's enough for me to start watching. Love Kristen Bell from Veronica Mars. Also Elsa from Frozen. That's where I remember Kristen Bell from Frozen.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mm.
Yeah.
She's actually older than me even. She's like 37 now.
Yeah.
So
there
she
you
looks
go.
pretty young though. Yeah.
President A, did Kristen Bell play Elsa or Anna? I thought Elsa was played by oh, what's that fantastic musical singer's name? Oh, goodness me. Idina Menzel, who I love. If anyone has seen the American version of Wicked, she played...
oh, Wicked is amazing. Like the soundtrack to Wicked.
Yeah, she has an amazing voice, Idina Menzel. I don't know who played I haven't seen it, but the Green Witch in the London version, but she played it in
yeah.
really a huge voice, and that's why they cast her as the role of Elsa, because they knew she'd be able to handle Let It Go. But yeah. Okay, so there we go. All right, we have one more show to discuss before we get on to what's happening next week.
Oh my God, is this going to be the...
Yes, it's going to be massive. All right, let's see. Do I have an intro for this one? Oh. I don't think I do have an intro for this one, but that is totally fine. The clue for this one is that this is a new show that I've started previewing that I have said is quote unquote better than Pretty Little Liars. And I still am convinced that it is better than Pretty Little Liars. What do you guys think? Have you seen it? Comment below and let me know. I am, of course, talking about the new mystery show, 10 Days in the Valley. Now, this is an awesome show. Yes, Angels, 10 Days in the Valley.
Okay, so I looked it up, right? I
you did?
played it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I played it on the really dodgy website, and then it kept like buffering and stuff the entire time. I thought it was the website's fault. Turns out, no, my router kept on shutting off, and this was like yesterday night. So, but I think the website's dodgy anyway, so it probably wasn't the best combo.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I can, but it looks like something I'm just gonna love. So
yes. How
if you can send me like your link, a bit like you sent me for How to Get Away with Murder, that's great.
Yep. So that you didn't have any issues with that one?
It was a little bit slow at first, but after a while it was fine.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I'll definitely send you a link then for this one. How far were you able to get with the other one? I'm guessing.
About the first 7-8 minutes, but not further, because I just got so annoyed because it was taking so long.
No problems at all. So I won't say too much about it then in this chat, in case you're like Angels and you still haven't seen the first episode. But I'll definitely tell all of you, go ahead and watch it. You will not regret watching this show at all. It is a mystery, but unlike other shows, it is an obvious mystery. We're trying to work out someone. We're trying to work out who's someone that's done something. And even in the pilot, we're already getting massive reveals, massive clues. I can't wait to watch the rest of this. So get on to 10 Days. It is called 10 Days in the Valley. And hi, and thank you for joining us. Okay. All right, everyone. So definitely get on to 10 Days in the Valley. Let me know what you think, and we will talk about that one next week because, yeah, then people will have time to see it. So, and if you enjoy the first episode, then watch the second one as well, and then we can talk about the first 2 episodes then after that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look no further because it is about time to discuss the main event. Here are some clues. This show that is coming up is based on the Archie comics. This show that is coming up, unlike PLL, did feature an all-male gay couple. This show has already given us some of a mystery that we are, I'm sure, going to be discussing in season 2. And one of the characters is rumored to go dark this season. Let's listen to the theme song of this show. That's right. I know Angels will be excited to discuss this, and so am I. This week we are welcoming back Riverdale. Woo!
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I cannot even begin to express how excited I am for this. I think for me, I'm particularly invested because of how disappointed I was after PLL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, I think all of us were.
Yes.
But I was genuinely so bitter and so kind of devastated that I was just like, right, I need to put my efforts into a show that I think has that kind of balance of like teen mystery, stroke, sort of weirdness of Twin Peaks, and you know, a bit of like geekiness, because obviously I'm a gamer. I'm like a closet gamer. You would never know, but I'm an absolute nerd. You know, all of those types of things. Comic-y, okay, love it. Like obsessed with X-Men. So for me, Riverdale was absolutely ideal. So the moment it came along, I was just like, that's it. This is my baby from now on. And obviously I love certain, yeah, all right, darling, shut up. But yes, I can't stand Archie though, which I know is a bit weird considering it's based on Archie. I prefer Betty and Veronica. I find their romance definitely the best thing in the entire series. The darkness and all that kind of thing is most definitely the best thing. What is your view of the characters this season? Are you looking forward to, for example, Betty going dark, like who the brother is, that kind of thing, or whatever? I mean, what I'll say is, I think that the sort of, I think it's going to go a lot more serious. You know how we had a lot of comic-y stuff? I'm just going to pick up on the comments. I know that Francois was there. Can't wait for DK. Exactly. Riverdale can't wait. Countdown the hours, but it's a second same. So what are your guys' views though? Like, what are you most looking forward to actually seeing? Because I'm loving the idea of like dark Betty. I love Veronica too. But you know, I just feel like a dark Betty would be a lot more fun. I'm thinking I'm not that worried about Betty and Jughead actually splitting up. I know that's crazy, but I feel like I'm not that worried about it because I feel like it would add drama. It's a bit like I wanted like a death in the PLL finale and stuff. I think we need kind of drama in this kind of thing. Chase, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they actually killed him off. I at first thought, oh, of course, he's going to live. It's going to be fine. No, I don't think they're going to play it like a lot of the other ones. I think they might actually kill him. My favourite character in Riverdale, I'm going to have to say either Cheryl or... Cheryl's like Cheryl actually has become my favourite character, I'd say. Cheryl or Jughead, probably. I ship Jughead and Archie too, but I love their bromance. Like this is the whole thing. Does a good relationship have to necessarily be romantic? I don't think so. Check out Veronica. Hello. Look at Jughead and Archie's bromance, and like Veronica and Betty, they're like unstoppable. I love how it's like positive when it comes to friendships as well. I don't think that, you know, things necessarily have to be romantic, whether it's one way or another. And that's what I love. You know, like I said, I know that they played off because obviously the Archie comics does have the whole kind of love triangle of Betty, Veronica and Archie. But I find Archie a pain in the fucking arse. I would rather Veronica and Betty date, because they obviously have really good chemistry, not only as actresses, but also as like friends. Like they have such a strong, positive kind of female friendship. And I feel like there's not enough of those in programs. Anyway, that goes back to my favorite project. See, Chase, you like Archie. Yeah, see, I don't. I find Archie a bit boring. It's a bit like, get over yourself, dude. Stop trying to get it on with everybody. I find him a little bit boring. But I agree. If he goes dark, I might sort of be liking that. President A says Archie and Veronica on my face. Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of when you say Archie and Veronica, do you mean like as a couple? Or you mean like Archie and Veronica as characters separately are your favourites? I think Archie's dad dies, says Chase, and Archie goes dark because of it. Yes, that's a lot of fan theories have been about this. Now, I don't think Riverdale is sort of gutless in the sense that PLL was. So I think that they would quite happily kill off Luke Perry, which would be, in my view, quite sad, because I'm like, oh, come on. He's like, you know, everyone likes Archie's dad and stuff. But then if it sends him dark and it sends like him into a tailspin and it causes a load more drama, maybe it's a really good thing. As far as I'm aware, Sabrina has not been cast. But then even if she has, I think maybe she might have been, and yet maybe they're keeping it close to their chest and they're just going to suddenly reveal it. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a spin-off Chase. I think like the whole thing was that they're just going to sort of reveal her randomly as like a small character. Yeah. Has anyone heard any info of the former Liars appearing? Yes, Lucy Hale, but apparently she may just like make a appearance, but it's not going to be anything. Excuse me, it's not going to be anything significant from what I can see.
Yes, President A, lots of love for Jughead for sure. Big fan of Jughead. You know, in the first season, and I'm not ashamed to say this because I thought it was a decent theory, I actually thought that Jughead was the killer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, he's the killer, and the reason he's writing this book is to confess everything, in his book. But clearly
no,
not.
you see, I thought Betty, because I'm like, no one's that clean. I'm like, no one is that clean. Like everybody, and you know how she digs her nails in, and I knew that she had like real issues. And I'm like, if anyone is gonna fucking snap, it's gonna be her.
There we go. Harvey will be in the Sabrina reboot, says Chase. Oh, well, there you go. That sounds interesting. I'm guessing you don't mean the same actor that played Harvey. I'm guessing he's much older now. But that's interesting. President A says, I would love Dark Betty. It would be most shocking. I know, Angels, you can't wait to see Dark Betty.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, the thing is, it's not that shocking to me because I always knew that she kind of had it in her. And I love Lily Reinhart. I think that she portrays her really well. And I like how she sort of does it with like still an air of like vulnerability and like innocence, but you can see that she's still kind of struggling with like her inner demons. I think she actually does it really well. So I can't wait to see Dark Betty. But then Betty to me is like one of my favorites, probably more so than Veronica, even though I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Betty, but just because she's so kind of outwardly perfect, but inwardly so full of turmoil. I think that a lot of people can relate to that kind of thing. Whereas Veronica is quite obvious, like she wears everything kind of on her sleeve, and she's a bit chastised now because of her dad and stuff. And I just find it all a bit like I feel like you can see everything that's gone wrong. with her, whereas with Betty it's all kind of internal and a storm's brewing basically, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely makes sense. That's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. Do we think that what happened to Archie's dad is going to be the main mystery for this season, or do we think that will be wrapped up relatively quickly and we'll have a new one?
I think that a bit like they showed us that he actually got shot in the final episode, because I thought that we would have to wait to see who actually got shot. So, but I think they're breaking the mold. So what I think is we'll actually find out pretty quickly whether he lives or dies, and then it will be either a case of who did it or kind of who was involved, and is he going to go back to work with, like, because obviously Veronica's dad's going to be around then, and that kind of thing, and are they going to work, like, what's kind of going to go on in that department?
Yeah.
I think it's basically going to go one of two ways, but I don't think that they're too tame to kill him off. In fact, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be true. I think he might die.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sends Archie into a tailspin, and I think that's also what, by the way, sends not only Archie dark, but I think Betty is already going dark. And I think it might be what leads to Betty and Archie getting together.
Yeah.
Because I know that her and Jughead are going to end. As much as I don't want it to happen, I really don't. Yeah. Because I really hate Archie. He's like a pain in the effing ass. You know, I'd much rather she dates Veronica. I think that they'd be an amazing couple, but whatevs. You know, if she isn't gay, that's fine. But I still think that her and Archie, oh God, Archie just loves everyone. So annoying. I don't care if he's dark or not, please. It's true though, isn't it?
How do you think what happened in the last season is going to affect Cheryl?
See, Cheryl is my favourite character.
Yeah.
I think she's going to go mental. I think we're going to see like total like crazy Cheryl, which is obviously when she goes, "It'll be okay, Mummy, you'll see," and stuff, and you're like, what the hell? She's obviously totally mental. But I just think, like, I love Cheryl. I feel like Cheryl has been the most developed character. Like, you wanted to hate her at first, but then you started to kind of warm to her, and then you started to love her. So I feel like as an overall character, she's had the most character development. I think that there's going to be a lot more drama for Cheryl and her mum this season, which I love.
Yeah.
Because didn't you say? Because she's always been my favourite. Even when she was bitchy, I loved her. But you didn't like her much, did you? Because of that, we had a bit of a sort of disagreement on that.
We did. I liked her from about halfway through, but half I didn't like her so much. But excuse me, I've grown to love her.
Oh, she's amazing. She's amazing. But also she's stunning. Like, the actress is stunning, and she's really funny as well. I tweet her sometimes. But she is, I feel like she pulls off the whole Cheryl character really well, and I do feel like the actor has really come into her own as Cheryl as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think character development on every level, whether it's Cheryl or the actor coming into Cheryl, I feel like they've both done incredibly well, and now she's like a fan favorite. Like, Cheryl's like one of the fan favorites. Like, if they killed Cheryl off now, people would be devastated, you know?
Yeah, totally agree. All right, so if anyone else has anything they want to add about Riverdale, please do so. Otherwise, I'll move on to the final show that I want to talk about. But Riverdale is coming out this week. Now, obviously, it's different days depending on where you are in the time zone of the stratosphere of the world. I mean, time zones can be very confusing. But here in Australia, it will be on Thursday. So the same day that I do Mr. Mercedes reviews will be the day that I'm doing a review of Riverdale, which I think will be Wednesday in the States and potentially Wednesday also where you are, Angels. But I don't think Angels is actually with us anymore.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that'll be every single Wednesday. That's cool. I will be able to make most of them, but depending obviously on schedule.
Yeah, no problems at all. So definitely keep an eye out for Riverdale. Can't wait to discuss it. Yeah, big hugs for everyone from Chase. And President A says separate characters, Archie and Veronica, but likes Veronica more. Angels?
Yeah, I prefer Veronica more too. Archie just pisses me off. Like I said, he's just such a namby-pamby idiot. I mean, also, please don't try and like play these girls off against each other. You're punching well above your weight, even if you're with one of them, so stop it. And also, the best thing is they have the best ride or die friendship. They don't even need him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love. That's the one thing about Riverdale I really like. They acknowledge the kind of love triangle, but they don't make it their main thing.
Yeah.
You know, they make it about the mystery, and Betty and V are like literally together. Like, do you know what I mean? They love each other, and it's like a healthy, brilliant female friendship.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's lacking on so many shows. They always pit females against each other, make them jealous bitches, and it's just not true. It's not the way that women are.
Yeah. No, can completely understand that. All right, so definitely looking forward to Riverdale. Keep your eyes and ears peeled to comment below and let me know once you've seen the episode. The review will not be too far away. Now, for the last segment of this show, I want to introduce everyone to a show that I absolutely love. And hopefully you'll all have time to catch up on this show, although probably the majority of you will say, you know, will tell me where to go when I introduce this one. To give you clues about this show, I would say that I believe it started in the US, but I could be absolutely wrong, with a string of these shows airing in all different states around America. It has also done quite significantly well around the world, and 3 years ago, it began premiering in Australia. I'm so excited, and here is the theme for this one, which you may not have heard before. Let's see.
I'm not everyone's drink of choice, but I'm my cup of tea. I'm the best shape of my life. Who begs to differ? I may run with the wolf pack, but I tread my own path. Yes, I'm a flirt, but home is where my heart is. When you know who you are, you have nothing to prove. If you can't stand the heat, get out of my kitchen. Honesty and integrity are my favourite accessories. Persistence is king, and I'm the queen of it.
Yes, now I'm sure a lot of you have no idea what that is, but that show, oh, Chase knows, The Real Housewives, and Sarah is here saying Real Housewives of Melbourne. Absolutely. We are going to be covering The Real Housewives of Melbourne here.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
see, I was going to say, I only cover, I don't give a shit about the London ones personally, but I did used to watch the Orange County and Beverly Hills and New York, but I'm kind of done with them, to be perfectly honest. Like, it was fun for a while, but now I'm just done.
No, totally fair enough. But I will say to those of you who have seen the American ones, and to even those of you who may not have liked the American ones, despite the fact that it follows a similar format, Melbourne does seem to be very different. to the others. I watched a couple of minutes of one of the ones in America, and I didn't quite like it. No offense to them. The reason I started watching The Real Housewives of Melbourne is because I am a Melburnian, so I thought, you know, following these socialites around this fine city that I live in could be fun. And then you get to know the people along the way, and I just find it quite an interesting and intriguing show. So if you haven't seen it, give it a go. You may like it, you may hate it, but the cast is diverse enough that it keeps the show very interesting. Now, Sarah is with us at the moment. Sarah watches Real Housewives of Melbourne as well. If there's anything you'd like to comment about that, certainly let me know. Yeah, Chase, you were guessing, but you are absolutely right. So yeah, just wanted to say we are going to be covering that show here on Comment Below and let me know. There are 2 new castmates that will be joining Real Housewives of Melbourne on season 4. But to give everyone a very quick basic idea of what to expect with season 4, for those who are returning, we have a psychic as part of the group. That makes things very interesting. We have a barrister as part of the group. That's certainly...
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is.
That does actually sound fun, yeah.
Gina Liano is the barrister in Real Housewives of Melbourne, and
nice.
Everything with her is about fact and fact only. It's very, very interesting watching a barrister come into a show like this, for sure. Janet is oh gosh, how do I put this? Janet's probably the oldest of the group. Been married a couple of times, and her husbands have left her a grand fortune. She's probably the most, I would say, arguably for people that are left, the most feisty. She tends to bring up a lot of the issues. Then we have
Lydia. Like you mean social stuff, or?
Yeah, social stuff, social like stuff. Yeah. We then have Lydia, who is overtly sexual. Anything sexual she can bring up, she is going to. Not
Samantha.
Yeah, very much like Samantha. Very much so.
Oh, I love a bit of Samantha, but that's mainly because of her directness. Although I love her sluttiness too, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. So her, not surprisingly, her favorite drink is a wet pussy. I'm quoting her there.
Wow.
And Gamble. And Gamble, you'd probably describe Gamble as coming across as not being very bright, yet actually being very bright behind the scenes. She comes across sort of like this princess who doesn't know that much, but actually she's much smarter than she lets on.
Yeah, but I think that's the story of a lot of people's lives. I think that they, a lot of people are more hung up, aren't they, on whether they are, coming across in like a certain way. I was just, because I saw President A said off topic, if anyone watched Scream TV series to the end of season 2, received an answer about the finale. The final killer in the Brandon James mask is Brandon's brother, Kevin James.
Oh. No.
Really? Okay, there's a massive spoiler right there. I'm sorry about that, but it's just reading comments.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, sorry, I haven't seen it. I think I saw the first 2 episodes and it wasn't for me. But those of you, I know a lot of people over here on Conville and let me know also follow Kelly Wilson. Kelly covers that show. So
okay.
certainly
so Kelly, yeah.
go to her for reviews and stuff and all that on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah says she loves Real Housewives of Melbourne. Yay. She just hopes the new housewives aren't boring or annoying like some of the previous ones. Yeah, so we have had some quite annoying people in the past. There was one lady, Andrea Moss, who came into season 1. She did not survive to season 2. She brought up a lot of issues that were just not necessary. And in seasons 2 and 3, sorry, was it 2? Yeah, 2 and 3, we had this little pocket rocket whose name was Petit Fleur, which is a very interesting name. That is her real name.
Well, it just means little flower in French, to be fair.
Yeah. There you go. And Petit Fleur, who is part Sri Lankan, part Dutch, but certainly comes across as more Sri Lankan than Dutch. Well, she certainly seemed to have a lot of issues in the show, and she has now left. See, the bad thing is, The Real Housewives of Melbourne, it may be, so to say, reality TV, but at the end of the day, it's there for entertainment, and a lot of people will attack housewives from what they've seen on social media. And I think because Petit Fleur received a lot of abuse on social media, that's probably why she.
Oh, that's bad. That's awful.
Which is terrible. I mean, she wasn't a nice person on the show, but at the end of the day, we have to keep in mind this is done for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
You know, the issue.
And also, whilst people say, "Oh, you know, these people are being real," no, they act up for the camera massively. Like it,
Yeah.
they are nothing like that. Like the vast majority of reality TV people do it because they get paid to
Yes.
create drama in front of the camera. So like these are normal everyday people, you know, so to actually lay into them, and actually often it's almost like, I know this sounds like a reverse psychology kind of thing, because it probably is, but a lot of people that seek the limelight in that way seek approval. So they're actually more insecure than most people. So when they're actually attacked for putting this out there, it's even worse.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
Carry on.
Yep. So Sarah says that Janet is a property developer. You're right. I keep forgetting that Janet's a property developer, but you're right about that. Yeah, and then another person that left at the end of season 3, but she was really awesome, and this is why I'm going to bring her up. Her name was Chica. Chica is very successful. She runs a catering company called the Big Something, which I have momentarily forgotten about. But anyway, it's successful over the world. She caters a lot of weddings in like Dubai and Holland and stuff like that.
Did you say vegan?
No, Big. Sorry, Big. B-I-G.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, because you lost me at vegan. Otherwise, I was like, no, I'm done with that.
No, definitely not. So sorry, it's actually called the Big Group. Yeah, so she's very successful, but her role in the show up until the last couple of episodes of season 3 was she was nicknamed Miss Switzerland. She would just generally not really, you know.
Like Captain Swiss.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she was.
Oh,
she was
wow.
the Swiss of the series. And yeah, she wouldn't continue to sprout rumors or anything. She was generally, you know, sitting on the fence a lot of the time. And people liked that because when it came to Chica, rather than getting involved in issues or whatever, people more focused on who she is as a person. She's a nice person. She was very neutral. She runs her business. We learned a bit about that. So that was great. It was great having someone that was neutral on the show, but she's now left. So because she wants to spend more time with her business, and I can completely understand that, and her children. But yeah, so she's not going to be there, and we're going to have 2 new people coming up, which is going to be interesting. President A is saying, sorry, he had the names mixed up. It was Troy James.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah, sorry that I haven't been watching that, but there we go. Sarah says, I know some people might find a show like The Real Housewives mindless, but I genuinely find it interesting seeing different personalities interacting with each other, like extremely different personalities. Yeah. So like that's how I see it as well. I see it as a great social experiment, putting all these personalities together and seeing what happens.
Well, that's the ultimate Big Brother house, really. That's the whole reason why it exists.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly right. So there we go. Sarah,
it's basically taking everybody out of their fish bowls and putting them into a orchestrated fish bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah says, Petit Fleur was annoying, but doesn't deserve complete abuse. Yeah, exactly right. Like, she doesn't deserve abuse. No one does on social media. It's unfortunate that it has gone that far. sure, you know, side with a housemate that you like, but abuse is taking it too far, as far as I'm concerned. Chase says people were saying that Kevin is Troy and Troy took Kevin's face and killed Kevin to get revenge on them hurting his brother Brandon. There you go. Sarah says, I loved Chica. She reminded me of me, always diplomatic, always trying to keep things positive. She did say she didn't see it as sitting on the fence and more so neutral and not feeling the need. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
To participate in drama, yeah.
Yeah.
See that actually that made me smile then, because Sarah did do that. Do you remember when I bombarded it? Because I do have I'm very difficult to piss off, but I understand that if I have like a point to make, and it's not like I'm abusive or whatever, but like I am quite forceful. with Sarah saying that, it suddenly reminded me of her being so diplomatic and so even and decent, and I was just like blah, 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 like really intense, kind of bombarding her with stuff.
And it's interesting that you bring that up, because that's very indicative of what you see on the shows. You can imagine there are such big personalities, and
exactly trying to interact, I guess, with each other.
Exactly. And so having someone like, say, for example, Sarah, or having someone, say, like Chica, makes a massive difference.
Yeah, of course.
Chase says, I just can't get into the Kardashians. Chase, I have not seen any of the episodes of the Kardashians. I know I can hear the boos and jeers from here, but quite frankly, I just never cared to watch the show.
No, I don't care to watch it either. I've like tried to see a few, and I just can't. I can't get into how stupid they are. So I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
They're actually not that fun either, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's not even that I'm being personal or rude. I just don't find the program fun.
No, completely agree. Or have issues with anyone. Yeah, exactly right, Sarah. Chase says, Scream TV show I was telling PA. Sorry, Chase, do you want to say that again?
Pam?
Pam?
PA, like maybe his mum, Pam?
Oh,
sure.
yeah. It might have been. Sarah's laughing at what you said.
We love each other again now. It's fine.
Chase says, I'm coming on 10 seasons of drama mama stuff. There you go. Don't know. Oh, President A, PA, President A.
Oh, right.
That makes
sense.
Yeah. Sarah says, it was a breath of fresh air seeing someone like Chica on a show where you expect drama from people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, exactly.
So you guys, before we wrap this up, and I'm sure it's getting very late over there, Angels.
Yes, it's 10 to 6.
Wow, goodness me. I just wanted to say, if anyone else has any other shows that they want to recommend for me to have a look at, certainly let me know either in the comments section now if you wish, or once the video uploads. I'm willing to take a look at any show, but please keep in mind that if this show has been on for a very long time, it will obviously take me a very long time to catch up. A great example of this is Orphan Black, which I believe is finished anyway. But I am so far behind, it will take me a long time to catch up before I can give you a proper opinion on that show. But if you have any relatively new shows, even if they're just starting into season 2 or it's coming up, let me know. Some of the shows that have been recommended to me include The Gifted and Stranger Things. If you have others, let me know. Sarah's telling me to hydrate. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are still coughing a little bit. That's true. But then, that's what you get for smoking through colds.
That's very true. I will never advocate that people smoke, but I do.
Remember, kids, don't smoke.
Yes, very true. Sarah says, always loved you, Beeb. I guess that's to you. Angels, she always loved you. I think Angel's is gone.
I'm definitely here.
Oh,
I was just reading. I was just reading them all because they're actually going quite quickly, and there's like.
they are. Chase says, "I rather watch paint dry than watch the Kardashians." Well, there we go. I'm definitely not going to be getting into that one.
I actually agree with him there. To be perfect, it's very boring though. I mean, the show is boring.
Yeah. Look, Kim starred in a couple of episodes of a show that I used to watch and that I know Sarah has watched as well, Drop Dead Diva. And it was okay having her in there, but I mean, yeah, like, I don't have any interest in them. Like, they can go and do their own thing.
No, same. Yeah, exactly. It's not like I hate them. I don't have an interest. So I'm like, I'm done. Bye.
Although I'm just imagining walking into a room of gay people and saying, I have no interest in the Kardashians, and everyone going, oh! But,
no, you know what? I have no problem with that because within about 5 seconds, they'd all love me. I'm like a gay queen.
Yeah, I'll just take you with me. Okay. President A says, okay, Chase, I know Scream TV series found out an answer from official Twitter account. There you go. So I don't know if Scream TV is still going. I think they recast or something, but feel free to keep talking about that. Yep, Sarah was hearing me cough. Sorry about that, Sarah. Chase says, The Good Doctor. I have not heard of The Good Doctor. What sort of genre is that show? Let me know, and I will certainly give it a look. I'm open to any shows that you guys want to recommend. So, all right.
Orphan Black is, yeah. I just read Sarah's comment next that says I need to catch up on Orphan Black, but I loved what I did watch. Sarah, it's really good. I'm still on it too. I'm on. I just finished. Well, I finished the second series.
Yeah.
The second season, but it's absolutely brilliant, and the fact that you have one actor playing so many roles she deserves so many awards for that. She's insanely good, and Felix is like my favorite character ever in that show. Like when I heard him speaking like a Canadian accent, I was just like, no, are you kidding me? And me being British, right? Yeah, as you guys know, when I was like bitching at you both about Alex Drake, right? When they really do a British accent badly, I just facepalm and I'm like, no, I can't deal with it. The moment I heard Felix, I was like, right, he's brilliant. What? He's Canadian? I mean, he's insanely good. Not only is he such a brilliant actor, but he's so convincing. And she plays all the roles brilliantly.
Yeah, she does. I've seen a couple of episodes, not all of them obviously, but I would agree from what I've seen. Yes.
Yeah, they have an insane cast. I mean, they are brilliant actors in that cast.
Before I go on, I will just quickly comment on what you're saying about, people using English accents. You'll have to watch the pilot of The Good Place, even if just to let me know what you think of Tahani's accent, because I do think that the actress is actually English anyway.
What's the Good Place? I'll have a look.
Good Place, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly have a look. Tell me what you think of Tahani and Tahani's accent. Yep, Chase saying smoking's bad, eat a carrot instead. You know what? That's really good advice, Chase.
Who wants to have a carrot over a cigarette? No offense.
But it's healthy advice. Chase says, I was watching the Kahal. It came on, and like 2 minutes into the Kardashians, I was asleep. Yeah. So I can understand falling asleep into the Kardashians, even though I haven't seen it. President A says, agreed, Chase. I really enjoyed the South Park episode they were in. I was actually just going to bring that up, President A, but then I thought it wasn't the Kardashians, but it was the Kardashians. Yeah. So that's the only thing I've seen is like South Park's version of it. That was pretty funny. But then again, South Park takes the mickey out of, everything that they can. So I guess that's what made it funny. It is a controversial show, and considering you are here live with me and I love all of your opinions, Angels, I delight in each and every antic, I would love to know if you have seen any of South Park, and if you have, what your unfiltered opinion is of the show.
as a general thing, I've seen loads of South Park, but I haven't seen a lot of the more recent stuff.
That's fine.
But as an overall thing, as you would imagine, because I'm like as subtle as a punch in the face when it comes to that kind of thing. So their type of satire is right up my street. I absolutely love South Park. I've always loved it. It's been one of my go-to things that I can watch while falling asleep. I can like watch it with mates over. I can watch it anytime. I think it's brilliant. I think it's impressively done. It's just hysterical. I love the characters in it because somehow they make these little 2D idiots, you know, sort of likable, like and characters. They actually make them individuals, so you believe that these are characters, you know. So
Yeah.
And that's where they are geniuses to make that. So I think yeah, I absolutely love it. I love Cartman. I love the fact he's such a dick.
Yeah.
I love how like the parents, I mean Stan, all of their characters, I couldn't really fault it. I think it's brilliant.
It is. I considering someone as informed as you still can find South Park rather entertaining, I pose this question to you. What would you say to people that watch South Park and either find it offensive, or when South Park is doing something based on their situation, so whether it be culturally based or issue based or whatever, they get offended by that? What would you say to people in that situation?
So if they get offended by South Park being very blunt,
Yeah, or even their opinions and the way it comes across. So, you know, they take the mickey out of things. At least they certainly did in the earlier episodes. They took the mickey out of a lot of things.
well, they do, yeah. But then you expect them to, right? Because it's like it's a satire show, so they're gonna rip the piss out of everyone.
Yes.
So, you know, to me, I think that if they didn't do that, they wouldn't be doing their job. I don't have a problem with it. People that try to say that they have some massive issue with it, I think are being dramatic. I think there's a reason why satire exists, and it's to shut up people who take everything too seriously. So yeah, I am absolutely with South Park. I think it's brilliant. And is it a bit too on the edge at times? Yeah. Should it be? Yes, absolutely. So I have no problem with it. It can literally personally offend me and my friends and stuff. I still would love it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. You know, like they've done things that may come across as offensive to me, but honestly, I laugh at it and just say, look, that's the type of show that South Park is. It takes the mickey out of everyone. So, you know. But yeah, excellent. All right. Chase says 2018 season 3 comes out with a new cast. That's for Scream. Yeah. So I have not watched Scream, but I have the TV series. But I have heard they're completely recasting the show in season 3. Don't think that's going to be a good move, but we'll have to see how that goes. Sarah says, I just remember Kim Kardashian freaking out because she lost diamond earrings that were very expensive, and her sister is like, there are people dying in the world, Kim.
Sorry, can I just say, Tahani, she's played by Jamil, who's actually just like a TV host. She's not even an actress here.
Yeah.
She's just like that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I was watching an interview with her recently because, as I say, I love the character of Tahani. I really do.
She's an ex-teacher, right? And she's a really nice girl too. One of my mates knows her. Yeah.
She went on this interview show over in the States, and she was talking about the fact that she did her show thing in the UK, and that she's not an actress. She was just
no, she isn't. No.
What would you say? What did you call her? She's
basically more of a presenter. Like she presented, I think, Channel 4, like MTV, that kind of thing for a while.
So she was a presenter, and Then she went over to the States and thought maybe she would get involved in media. And the next thing she knew, she literally, I don't know how much you know about her personality, but she literally went to the audition for The Good Place for a laugh. And that was it. She just wanted to do it for a laugh. And she got casted in the role. So she's had no acting experience. This is her first go at playing a character in a TV show, and I think she does it brilliantly. But I can't wait.
Yeah, well, apparently so. She's got rave kind of thing, but she's also super smart. So I think so. She basically is a writer, DJ, model, and radio host and presenter. And she was teaching English in a London school actually when she was discovered. She was obviously scouted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. That's it. Yeah.
There you go. Well, let me know what you think of Tahani when you see her.
She's like early 30s. I will definitely let you know what I think about it. I will watch her. I love Jameela Jamil. I can't believe that she's actually.
There you go.
Tori's here. Hey, Tori.
Hi, Tori. Thank you for joining us. Let's quickly race through some of these comments then. Chase says that The Good Doctor is a hospital-type show with a doctor who has autism. Interesting. I'll certainly give it a look. I don't watch too many medical dramas, but I'll certainly give it a look. President A says it's an oldie, but Veronica Mars is a good show. A lot of people have said that, and I have a lot of people around me who loved that show. I just didn't get into it. Chase says Buffy. Yes, I watched Buffy, although I must say once the spin-off was created, I became a massive Angel fan. But I have seen Buffy, and I did like that show. There were rumors it was coming back. I don't think that will be the case, but I'm not too upset about that fact because I think Buffy sort of wrapped up in its own way. Sarah says, I love how different the characters are considering, as you said, it's one actress. This is for Orphan Black.
Yeah.
And yes, Felix is amazing, and I love his British accent. So believable.
It is. Oh my God, it is. It's brilliant.
Chase says, I could see Angel's face when Alex was revealed and she did that sucky voice. Angels was looking at her TV like, what the fuck, you're joking?
Yeah, I was. I literally was. I was like...
Nice. Yeah. Chase says, South Park takes the Mickey out of Mickey Mouse. Yeah, well, exactly. South Park, well, I like that. I like how you put that. South Park takes the Mickey out of everything. So, yeah. We have someone on called Sammy. Hi, Sammy.
Sammy. Hi, Sammy.
Haven't seen you here before, but we have some recommendations. Mindhunter might be one to consider. It's on Netflix. It's a crime drama thriller. So there we go. Thank you for that one. And The Bold Type is another good one to watch. They focus on such important issues. Now, I will say this. I saw the first episode of The Bold Type, and I enjoyed it. I don't know why I stopped watching it. So I might go back to The Bold Type and do some reviews on that one. Thank you, Sammy, for that. That's a good one. President A says, have you seen the South Park movies? I've seen at least one. And that was the one that involved Satan in the film and Kyle's mum. I've seen that one. But I didn't know there was more than one. Did you know there was more than one film, Angels, for South Park?
Yes, I think I did, actually. But I have a memory like a sieve, so, you know.
And what of them, President A, certainly let us know. Chase said, I would say it's a TV show, Tough Nuggets. It's a cartoon. Oh, there we go. Well, cartoons are totally fine. I love my animation fixation. I am always watching my South Park, my Family Guy, my Simpsons, and my Bob's Burgers. I did try reviewing South Park, but it didn't pass the review test, but that's fine. But I love all of my cartoon shows. So.
I have a quick question for Sammy.
Yeah.
He says, or she says, Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Right, that sounds like a really good one, but he or she has also said The Bold Type on Freeform is another one to watch. They cover important issues.
Yeah.
Some people are comparing the bold type to Sex and the City, but they're different. Maybe it's only the friendship thing. So if something's on Freeform, it's not necessarily on Netflix. So how would people sort of cross-country view that? Or would it have to be through the just random websites, I guess?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Is that the case? I didn't even know that. So does Freeform
No, I didn't.
agreement with Netflix to not put anything on or something?
I'm not sure whether it is, but I'm just saying that there has been Freeform stuff that I haven't been able to view, and then.
Oh, okay, interesting. It might be available on that website. We'll
Yeah.
see how we'll go.
Okay.
But yeah, the bold type is pretty good. I saw the pilot episode, as I said, and I did like it. I fully intended on watching the rest, and then I think I just got caught up with all like this massive amount of shows that I've been tracking at the moment. But I'll get back into that and do some reviews there, Sammy, on that one for sure. Chase says that Kim is self-centered. That's what I've heard. Hello, Tori. So good to have you here. Where are we? Sorry, guys. We have a lot of comments, which you know I love. Chase says, I think Angels would have produced better PLL. Oh, produced better PLL than Marlene.
Yeah. Damn right. Of course I would have.
Totally. Tori's saying hi to both of us. Hi, Tori. Chase says, big bro, woo, Angel and Buffy. Yeah, totally. Loved them. I loved Angels. I love Angels too.
Well, you love me too.
Love you. I watched Buffy the one time through, and that was great. Angel, I've probably seen like 5 times through. I just love Angel, and of course, I love David Boreanaz.
Oh, he's amazing though, isn't he? I mean, God, come on.
So now that Bones has finished, he's been cast in another show, and I have a little bit of an issue, people. I think we need to start a bit of a protest because I'm being totally silly here, but once again, David Boreanaz is being cast in a show where he's walking around in the sunlight, and that is just wrong.
Yeah, so, that is wrong.
Stop that, and we're going to have to get David Boreanaz into a show where he is secluded in the dark.
Why don't we get him? Why don't we get him onto the channel? We can have like a proper interview with him and ask him what the hell he's doing.
I think that is a great idea, Angels. All right. Tori says, my BFF Samantha I told you about finally saw the CC reveal in PLL. She starts the 5-year time jump tomorrow.
Wow, she must be let down. Wait until she finds Alex Ray. Hello. Want a sedative? I mean, are you serious? Jesus Christ. Wait, and have you told her she's basically going to want to cry for the rest of her life when she sees the finale? I think it would be kinder to kill her now.
What did she think, Tori, of the reveal of Cece? Let us know. Let's keep in mind, some people liked the finale. Now, we totally hated it. We totally hated it.
Hated it.
But yes, some people somehow liked it, and that's great.
So are these no, I feel like the only people who liked it were not diehard PLL fans who were there from the beginning, who cared about stuff like what happened that night and cared about like little things like Eddie Lamb and Aria being dodgy and like Melissa and like I feel like people who liked it were much less invested. They were much less invested viewers, whereas people who knew what they were talking about from the word go were utterly gutted.
Even thinking about Aria and Eddie Lamb is getting me angry. I feel
don't. I know.
We have to move on from PLL before we just yell and scream and just keep going. After 24 hours, we're still going to keep going.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, I mean, President A said that he didn't mind it. Well, although I do actually, he did mention the other day that he's like, you know, that he didn't mind it up until sort of when a few questions came up, and he was just like, oh my god, yeah, exactly. So you liked it, but you didn't love it. I mean, I think, like I said, I think that Troy did a great job, except for her god awful accent. But I, you know, the whole thing, it just felt so poorly put together. And Marlene said, you know, that her and Troy had private chats, and that the whole thing had been carefully constructed for over 2 years. 2 years for that.
Indeed.
That was bullshit. Like I said, it was an obvious last minute change of plan. I think.
Oh, definitely. Look,
I wonder who they originally made A though. Or AD.
The British guy.
What, Ren?
Yeah, originally, according to Marlene, AD was going to be Ren.
Right.
And she changed it at the last minute because I guess she didn't want people to guess who it was, and people were. I didn't want AD to be Ren, but I would have taken Ren over Alex any day.
I would have taken Ren over Alex any day of the week. Yeah.
Because we knew Ren. I just, like, I don't want to turn this into a Pretty Little Liars chat, so stick with us, people. But my biggest complaint with the finale was we didn't know Alex as a character. So I felt cheated out of the finale.
Yeah.
See, the anger's rising. All right, Chase.
Oh no, me too.
I remember owning a South Park video camera. Good. Let's move away from PLL. Cool. That's awesome. I never owned anything in South Park, but that's cool. Lots of comments, you guys. They're flying by. Remember that back in the good old days where I was like, whoa, lots of comments. That's happening right now, you guys. So I'll catch up when I can. Chase says, when I said, oh, well, Tough Nuggets is a cartoon, I was talking about South Park when people are getting offended. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a cartoon. Exactly right. And so in the last episode, the latest episode of South Park, without giving away too much, a child gets run over, but because it's a cartoon, I feel like I can let it go. Where if it happened in a, like, I don't know what you call it, but a real, like, a show with people in it, I would have been rather offended by that. But being it's a cartoon, you sort of let it go. At least that's, you know, where I stand. Prisoner says that other one was 3 episodes, which add one movie, Imagination Land. Okay. Imagination Land became a movie. There you go. I think I've seen the episode of Imagination Land. There you go. Tori says Freeform is on Hulu, if that helps. I think that's for you, Angels.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Tori.
Chase says, oh, the new SEAL team. Yeah, what's this about the SEAL team? I keep seeing so much on the internet about SEAL, and I keep thinking about SEAL, the guy that sings Kissed by a Rose. So I'm guessing it's not him. What's going on with this new SEAL team? What's all that about? Can someone please explain that to me? President says, liked how Buffy ended, didn't like how Angel ended. Yeah, totally agree with you. It felt like it ended partway through something. So I completely agree. I hated how that ended. Chase says, SEAL Team, his new show. Oh, SEAL Team is David Boreanaz's show. Oh, where he walks about in the sunlight. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, and it looks very army-ish. Oh, as in SEALs, as in Navy SEALs. Okay, there we go. Oh, gosh, no. Okay. Jay says, I took it for what it was, crap that comes out of a dog's butt for PLL. Yep, totally. Tori says, yes, I told her, her friend, to expect to be let down, but hope for the best.
Yeah. Oh, Tori's just too kind to her friend.
President A says he didn't hate it. It said liked it, but didn't love it. Yep. So look, everyone is going to have their own opinion at the end of the day. Something that I have learned over my time at Comment Below and let me know, it is that I will tell you my opinion as much as I take on yours. And my opinion is that I think it totally sucked. It was bullshit. The fact that we had a reveal of someone we didn't know was completely, utterly unfair. considering we were theorizing this whole time. And yes, people theorized about Alex, but we never,
we never knew her, basically.
Yeah,
we never knew her.
Yeah, exactly. So just completely ridiculous. Chase says, Aria murdered Eddie in my mind. I like that. In my
Yeah,
mind.
well, in my mind, Marlene. I'm just going to call you Marlene Chase from now on. Jesus Christ.
Tori said she disliked that Cece was A. Oh, good to hear, because I did too.
Well, you know what? I would have taken Cece over Alex. I think Alex was the worst reveal out of all of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It went from best to bad to worst.
Yeah.
For the three.
Yeah.
Which was terrible, because the reveal of Mona being A was fantastic.
I loved it. I loved it. But then I always loved Mona, so I loved the fact that she was like a bit evil and like I just loved it.
Yeah, so where are we? 2 years on
But
that.
sorry to
Okay.
but I quickly wanted to actually say, but at least Cece had a backstory. At least there was some kind of sort of lead up to it, and there was like all of this. Whereas Alex, it seemed like fucking hell, what? She was not even around until like the last season or whatever, and she had no, and then Charlotte died, and then I showed up here, and then and I hate Spencer, and like, oh my god, just the whole thing from beginning to end is just cringeworthy.
Absolutely.
Like,
completely agree. Okay.
Anyway, Chase.
Yeah, I don't know what Chase is saying there. She is on that voice bullshit. I say it was one day. I don't know what you're referring to there, Chase, but
No, he's saying that she spent 2 years perfecting Alex's accent, apparently.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was definitely one day. And she hates Shower Harvey. Oh my god.
Oh god, do you remember her? Jesus.
And this is saying a lot, I would have preferred AD to be Shower Harvey than Alex Drake, because at least we knew Shower Harvey. And it could have made sense. Like, seriously, it could have made sense. She knew Cece. She was working for Cece. Cece dies, she becomes AD. It would have made sense.
Yeah, and they also could have made her like some kind of weird relation somehow.
Yeah. Ugh.
They could have made her Spencer's twin, even.
Sorry?
They could have made her Spencer's twin.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been a massive reveal. Tori said Ren. Yes, yeah. So originally it was going to be Ren, but then Marlene just changed it because people were guessing that it was going to be Ren, which I guess I get why she wanted to change it, because people were guessing it, but to change it to someone we didn't know, ridiculous. Jay says people were guessing Spencer's twin over Ren. Yeah, well, people were getting suspicious of the fact that Spencer might have a twin. And I give them credit for that, because honestly, I would never have guessed it if the first person hadn't come up with the theory, and it went out of control the way it did. But I don't know. I just didn't like that at all. Yep, we're getting some Sling of Mud for Marlene, definitely deserved. Tori, for Diamond. Yes, because Diamond lasts forever.
Oh God, stop it, please.
Chase says South Park video game. Yeah, so they now have 2 games, I believe, released, or the second one's about to be. I played a bit of
I have the first one.
Yeah. Yep, you have the first one? I played a bit of the first one. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Pretty good. And the next one...
So,
is that Stick of Truth, the first one?
Yes, Stick of Truth, yeah.
And then I don't remember the second one, but what it's called. But the second one has either come out or it's coming out really soon.
Oh, awesome.
David, who plays Angel, is on the SEAL team. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Dave Boreanaz is. Yeah. Yeah, but he's out in the sun, and he shouldn't be. Tori says her BFF absolutely loved Queen Mona, or loves Queen Mona. Yay! We love her for loving Queen Mona.
Of course.
Chase says, Alex, hi. I'm Alex. Angels, shut the F up and take yourself back to school.
Oh my gosh, I would homeschool that bitch if she said that to me.
Chase says, I still say Aria being AD would have been better. Oh, loads better.
I really wanted Aria to be AD, and I also wanted the whole mental illness thing to come into it, because I felt like it would have been. Now, I also wanted Hannah to be, because I felt like, because nobody kind of suspected her, that it would be a great twist.
Yeah, no, exactly. Look, honestly, had they made any of the 4 girls, I think that would have been massive.
I'd have loved it. Even Emily, really.
Yeah, exactly, because no one suspected her. I did at one stage.
Did you? Yeah, well, I think all of us did. All of us went through all of our theories. Like I said, all of us came up with better theories than Marlene.
Exactly. I will say, though, one reprieve, and only one for Marlene. In a way, I'm glad it wasn't Ali, because I just don't think it would have made a lot of sense. I think it would have been very rushed and very weird had it turned out to be Ali. But any of the other 4, Aria, Emily, Spencer, Hannah, would have been amazing.
Hannah would have been a particularly good twist, because people would have thought Spencer, because she's so smart.
Yeah.
Whereas Hannah had like hidden smartness, didn't she?
People
So
were always underestimating Hannah's intelligence, always. So that would have been ending. And I mean, don't get me started on the fact that Jen is still blind. I mean, seriously, we'll be here.
I know.
All right, so people, we're going to finish this chat in about 7 minutes, because it is getting late over there where Angels is, and I've got a couple of things to do, but I'm going to try and get through all of your comments. So it's been a while since I've said this, but if you are here in the room and you're typing, can you please write "bye, Francois," so I know when we've got through all the comments, and then I'm going to have to leave. But let's get through these as quickly as we can. Yep, Chase saying, or Hannah, or Spencer, or Emily, or Mona, or even Ali. All would have been better than Alex. President Ace's performances were great in PLL. The thing I didn't like was they revealed a bloody twin. Yes, exactly. And that was my issue as well. President Ace says, even Paige would have been a better reason. Ren was changed because he didn't appear as much. There you go. Yeah, so I even would have taken Paige over Alex. And I did not.
I would have too. Yeah.
But yeah.
I would have too.
Yep, and so Chase agreeing, yes, Paige over Alex. I can't stand Paige, but I can't stand Alex even more. Exactly right. Yep. President Ace says, the horse would have been a better AD reveal as Alex.
Well, to be fair, President A, the horse did actually figure out that Alex was Alex and not Spencer. So, you know.
Yeah. Tori says, I could have been okay with Alex Drake if Marlene had Spencer and Alex switching places since the beginning, and they are both A. That would have been an interesting reveal.
Yeah, you see, I would have been all right with that too, but.
Yep.
Like I said, if Alex had been linked to us from the very beginning, and also, you know how they made that huge thing about what happened that night, right? Mm-hmm. If they could have linked Alex to that night, and we would have had flashbacks to be like, oh, that was actually Alex, and we didn't know. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But no, it was just half-assed. It was, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Really lame. Mm-hmm. Okay, Chase agreeing, saying the one you never seen AD being would have been Emily. Yeah, exactly right. Would have been a massive reveal if it was Emily. I think it would have shocked everyone. President says those damn blonde twins.
Yeah, like what relevance were they? They were running around Ravenswood, and Hannah kept on seeing them, and then they were in the story with Ali, and then, you know, they were, one of them turned up to Hannah's house to Ashley. So sorry, but what? They're all red herrings?
To quote Marlene, the twin thing in the horror Halloween episode was a clue that we were going to go with a twin. Yeah. But a lot of things.
Right.
Marlene. And there's another one. I hope they do a Comic-Con over where you are, Angels, and I hope you go with Marlene's there. Take a camera and, oh my God.
I'm going to get escorted out by security. I'm just going to be so ruthless.
Chase says, bitchy Ali for AD. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded it so much, but I would have liked to have seen a couple more hints towards it potentially being Ali, because Ali just became sort of sad towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I love bitchy Ali. Don't get me wrong. She's the reason why Ali is basically my favorite character in PLL, because of bitchy Ali. But well, having said that, if she was the ultimate sort of big bad, I think it might be kind of full circle and it might be quite fun, but they would have to spin it in a certain way.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, it would really have to be done in like a clever kind of way. And she would have to have an entire team, and they'd have to like go into the team, and it would have to be like involving, it's like you said, Francois, people like Jenna and her being able to see, and she has been for ages, and like she's actually, you know, it would have to sort of be some conniving proper plot for me to buy into it. Otherwise, no.
Exactly.
I don't like this whole, why is Jenna still blind? Like, she has the potential to be such a brilliant character, and yet she's just like.
And finally, Tori says it would have explained the mood swings and the wigs in season 5. True, it would have. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got about 2 minutes, and then we're going to end this. So I'm going to go and do a few things in Angels. I want to let you go to sleep, but I do want to say that I'm loving these all-in shows chats. I'm definitely intending on doing a few more. And the point of All In is that we can talk about any TV show at all. And I'm assuming PLL will keep coming up in our All In shows. That's fine. I'm just, you know, I guess we should expect that. You know, trigger warning for all. PLL will continue to come. I mean, you know, they say two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Clearly, PLL is not dead yet because we're still talking about it. But yeah, also, as far as reviews and all that are concerned, if you want your show to continue to be reviewed on, comment below and let me know. Vote, vote, vote. The best way to vote is to click like. If your show's review gets 10 likes or more, it will be reviewed on to the next week. But those shows that have not survived will still be brought up in chats like today. How to Get Away with Murder reviews did not survive, but it was brought up in the chat and will continue to do so. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has joined us. We've been here for over 2 hours, and you guys have been absolutely amazing talking about all the shows. And of course, do not forget that Riverdale comes back next week, this week, I should say.
So exciting.
Very, very, very exciting. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful UK correspondent, Angels. It's been so great having you here.
Oh, thank you. No, it's been wonderful being here, and it's nice to see some old faces that I haven't seen in ages, like Tori, and because it's great to have Chase here, but he's like a regular, but we've had a few others too. So yeah, it's been great to see everybody, and nice to get my absolute antagonistic side out again. Now we're talking about PLL and Marlene.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's always good. We love it. Yeah, great to have all of you here. Tori, good to have you back. Sammy, welcome. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. If you enjoyed this chat and you're not part of, comment below and let me know. Subscribe. I do cover quite a few shows. Who knows? You may like one of them, or maybe you just want to join in these chats again. If you subscribe and click the bell, you'll get all the notifications that you need to. But for now, everyone, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you so much once again. If you do live in Australia, vote yes for the same-sex marriage vote. And also make love and not war. And as I always say, give someone you love a hug today. Lots of love, big hugs and kisses. Bye, guys.